Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game show in the world. We are a group of close friends sharing our love of gaming with you. Tonight, I am Aaron, along with Ian, Jared,
Hey.
and Dave.
Whoop whoop.
And we have guests.
Yes, we have guests tonight. We have our girlfriend been on the show before, Brad.
A girlfriend?
Good old friend. And, of course, a newcomer,
Nick.
Nick.
Who?
Thanks, Aaron.
I try my best. Remember, you guys can be a part of the show by leaving comments and questions over at Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter at the Couch Co-op at Couch Co-op shows. Remember, all one word, no hyphen.
And we're streaming live on YouTube tonight, and you can actually see it on your screen. So if you want to message us, but no one's going to be watching this because,
Live on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
They're going to wait till we've got 10 episodes and binge watch.
But also, remember, the podcast itself, you can find them wherever they're sold, or just go to couchcoopshow.com. Try following us on Twitch, as you just mentioned, every night at 7 o'clock, but obviously we're doing it earlier because it's a special occasion. But before we do that, how's everybody doing tonight?
Got some
G'd
pizza
up after your
and some
intro.
beers.
Oh, man.
juiced.
Right. It's a good night. A little cold.
Hey, one thing we should do, because there is a first timer on the show.
Yeah, we could ask him hard questions.
The
Wow.
hard-breaking question. So, Aaron, why don't you pass the mic over to Nick?
All right,
Let's,
here you go.
Crane it up there. Give it a little erection action. Nick DeWin, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having
I
me.
bet I hope it's a dream come true.
It's been a while. I mean,
Very
very wet, by the way.
Wow. We like to know with our first timers how they got into video games. Like when? Where did that happen?
It's kind of hard to say because I have very vivid memories of.
Love the mic. Speak.
All right, you guys having trouble hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I have memories in my childhood of playing like an Atari 2600. But I think it was probably around the NES, which I got for my birthday in 1988, is really when I found my love for it.
Great system.
Was it a Christmas present?
No, it was actually a birthday present, and the love of it got to the point to where I started drawing cartoons of it on my schoolwork, and then they ended up having to take it away for a little bit. But
Oh,
that's pretty
no,
much where I got-
practicing artistry. That's so bad.
What were the games you were playing on that? What were your games on the Nintendo?
With Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers series, Legend of Zelda, like pretty much all the basics.
And then the wonderful question we love to ask: what is your favorite video game of all time?
I'm just gonna say Fallout New Vegas. I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite of recent memory, and I love it for a lot of the reasons that you probably like Skyrim with all the modding that you can do to it, and the fact that you can do like multiple playthroughs and have different endings. And it also just kind of hit me at a certain point in my life where it's probably one of the few games where I actually have really fond memories of actually playing it.
Yeah, that's about all I ever saw you playing on the PS3. I remember. And, you played Fallout 3 on the PS3.
Yeah,
but
so I
New
played
Vegas
Fallout 3 on the
was your PC
PS3.
game.
Yeah, New Vegas was on the PC. So if you saw me on Steam playing it, that's where I was playing it mostly.
And you think you put more hours into New Vegas than 3, huh?
Well, if you combine both how much Fallout 3 I played on Steam and the PS3, the Fallout 3 may have won over, but
You like the other better.
I do.
Yeah. I've always thought I didn't give that series enough of a chance, but someday maybe.
Well, that's also an Obsidian game, so it's not a Bethesda game technically.
Yeah.
So have you
Yeah.
tried the Outer Worlds yet?
I have not.
Oh, you might if you're into New Vegas, you'd probably really dig that game.
Well, I just might. I'll just add it to the giant backlog of games that I already have.
You're on vacation, I hear.
Amen.
Yes,
Vacation.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many hours in vacation.
Well, Nick, thank you very much, and thanks for being on the show. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe we might be seeing you on Ian's other show later as well.
That's
Oh,
not
that's
important.
right.
That is
What are you
not
talking
important.
about?
That's not
I
important.
don't know. Aren't you sharing a beer with him?
Let's not care about
Milkman
Ian has
drinks
another
a beer.
show?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's
kidding.
It's funny you mentioned earlier about our favorite games. I think
Yeah.
we have some for this year.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
This is our top 5 game. Top 5. What is fucking
Top 5 games
games
of
of the
2019.
2019? Thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Thanks for keeping me on point, Aaron.
Yeah, which we always have interesting rules for because not many of us play games from that specific year. So, what do we have?
Well, we have a lot of guys that probably didn't play a lot. I mean, it was a weird year for video games, really. I mean, unless you're just a hardcore video game player, you're probably playing a lot of games from your backlog, I would imagine.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much my entire year.
Yeah, I think we all kind of did that for the most
Yeah,
part.
I only have 2 from this last year that on my list. The rest are all older games. That I
Oh, good.
played
I'm no
this
better
year.
than Dave.
That's a low bar.
That's not true. Dave played a lot of games from this
Oh.
year. Dave played a lot of games from this year. I don't trust
Perhaps
that.
not a lot of games I liked.
That's true. That's perhaps true.
Eh,
Oh, so if you don't like it, it didn't happen?
mm,
No, it's
Unlike-
just not going
unlike
to make
Nick
my
here,
top 5.
If you didn't like it, it still made his list. No.
no.
There was a lot of games that were announced for 2019 that I was excited about before they came out, but then like you brought up Fallout, like Fallout 76. I did the beta, which of course you can't spell Bethesda without beta, and it was terrible. I know a lot of people got into it or still enjoying it, but for me, it was like 2019 was the year of games I was disappointed with.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
There. Yep.
Oh, you must have played Anthem.
That's
Hey,
BioWare, though.
I played 100 hours of Anthem, and
And
I don't regret any of
Jesus.
it.
Is that on anyone's top 5?
No,
don't
but I had fun with
regret
it too.
any of it.
Exactly.
It's on my top 5.
Who wants to
Wow.
go? Who wants to kick this off?
Let's make it easy and start on this side of the room at Brad.
Okay, so we'll go Brad and around.
What's your number?
5.
3.
3. Oh,
Now so I played a lot of games this year that are older games like Spider-Man, Witcher 3, Detroit,
That's perfect.
Borderlands. A lot of great games. And I guess if I was to say including a game that I played this year, my number 5 would probably be Witcher 3.
Very well deserving of any top 5 list.
this is a great
Complete
game.
edition, Wild Hunt, yeah.
This is a great game because not only is it's actually relevant because with the show
Oh, yeah.
that dropped, and then the game had this like resurgence of like people playing it on Steam and shit. So I think there's a lot of people playing it for the first time this year.
Yeah.
So I think it's apt,
Well,
really.
I just got the latest edition of Game Informer. They actually labeled that game as one of the games of the decade. Actually, I think it was number 2 or number 3 in their magazine. It's crazy.
What did you enjoy
Well
about it, Brad?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of direct correlation, which I've talked about on our private boards with like Game of Thrones, right? You know, there's a lot of this whole kingdom building, War of the
Yeah.
Roses kind of story elements that are always intriguing and enjoyable. But I think what really is great about it is that although it's a completely open world, you don't have to feel like stressed out about being a completionist. You can just play it. And I mean, of course, we all like, you know, all of the rated R elements of the violence and the naked ladies and all that other stuff.
All good
But-
things we know and love.
No, for me, I think it's just like, you know, you take a lot of those action adventure games that have role playing elements, and a lot of them overdo it, and they make the world so big where they get really glitchy, like we talked about a second ago. And I think The Witcher did a great job of just having a really fluid world that just felt enjoyable to run around in. You know, even like Red Dead Redemption, which is an epic game, there are certain times where you just feel overwhelmed and lost, you know?
Cool. Moving on to Dave. What's your number 5, Davey?
Mine's Ace Combat 7.
Interesting choice.
I don't know if any of you guys have even played that, but it was so refreshing to play
I
a flight simulator. well, it's not arcade flight simulator, and just something different. It was a fun story and just fun flying around and shooting stuff.
I played a little bit at your house in VR because it has a VR mode. And
Oh yeah, I couldn't
was
play it in VR because it made
greatly
me
impressed.
sick.
Yeah, it was super awesome. So eventually I might check that one out. I haven't played an Ace Combat game since maybe the PS1, whenever the series debuted.
Here's a little inside trivia. I mean, Ace Combat is kind of what started game night way back in
Yeah.
like 2005.
Was it Ace Combat 3 or was it 2?
It was like 3 or 4 for the PS2.
Yeah.
And I have this tiny 13-inch Sony TV that was in my basement, and
Yeah.
Dave and I would huddle around it and play video games.
Yeah.
We played that split screen
we
on a
had
13-inch television.
better eyesight back then.
Well, this is a really great television too, so
True.
it's a really good.
It's still
television.
tiny.
Still tiny, but yeah, little insider baseball. Okay, Jared.
I chose a game called SteamWorld Dig 2, which I played on my Switch. It's on most systems, but it's in like a 16-bit retro style kind of a thing. It's a side-scrolling. If anybody's played or seen Terraria, it's very similar to that concept. It has mining and upgrading of your tools and really cool characters. And the world was just really fun and engaging, and I couldn't stop playing it. I just had to keep going. It was a very fun series. I love SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2, and there's like 2 more games after that I wasn't huge into.
They're very different. They kind of the genre of games kind of evolves over time.
The first 2 are very similar. The third one is like a heist game where you're in space, because of events that happen in the first 2 games. And the third one's like a adventure RPG game. So, yeah, very, very different. But I like the ones that take place on the ground where you're mining and upgrading your equipment, and it's really fun.
Very cool. All right, Aaron, what you got? Number 5.
All right,
Let's do this.
My number 5 is actually belong in the Switch category. It's Bayonetta 2 for Switch. That kind of snuck up on me. I didn't really give it much thought, but then I started playing it. I couldn't put it down. It's just one of those stories you're like, what's happening at this?
It's kind of a batshit crazy
It's definitely JRPG strong, but it is so good for
in the story.
Yeah, but it's so good though. The gameplay was great. The mechanics are tight. All of it was just all on there.
Bayonetta's pretty tight.
I'm glad you played one of the games I let you borrow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
hey,
know.
Aaron played a game. This is the 5 games Aaron played this year.
Actually, my top 5 list is every game I beat this year. Actually,
Nice.
I know. I could have done other games I played, but
Got to give you more credit then.
I know it's hard. But still, it was a good game though. I enjoyed it wholly.
It is a great game. I played it on Wii U back when it first released. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I see why. It's one of those games you don't think it's gonna be that good, but then you start playing it, you're like, I can't stop. It's just so fun.
Eagerly awaiting Bayonetta 3.
And it has really naughty Nintendo character costumes.
It does.
Oh, yeah. Princess Daisy and Princess Peach. Whoo!
Yeah.
Dirty.
Is it a sexy game then?
It is very sexy.
Very sexy game.
Nice. I thought so.
Yeah, the story's not much but it's definitely a sexy story. But
The story's kind of questionable at times, like some of the shit they do and like the kind of like how the certain characters are portrayed. It's kind of questionable.
Is it along the lines of Peach Beach Splash?
No, because Peach Beach Splash is what it is.
Yeah.
There's some like, I don't know. You'd have to play it.
It's sneaky.
I don't know
Yeah.
what that means, Jared.
I don't get it either, actually.
Just randomly different poses just kind of pop up, and you're like, whoa!
Oh yeah, if you're talking about that, but I feel like even
we're talking the story.
I feel like even like racial, like politically, it's probably not the most politically safe game. Like PC, politically correctness is that they kind of throw it out in that game.
Yeah.
So it's questionable.
It's fun.
Be an adult when you play it. Anyway, Nick, number 5.
Well, since Brad went and changed the rules to all of this, I mean, I originally only had 2 entries for 2019, but since I just bought my PS4 Pro at the very beginning of the year and has been playing catch-up for the most part, I'm going to say number 5 from straight out of 2015, Fallout 4.
Holy moly!
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I haven't.
Did you beat it though?
No, I haven't. I've probably put.
I couldn't get into that game. I put about
I feel
10 hours in it, and then
Yeah, I
just
didn't like
gave
how
up.
they. I mean, I'm still trying to get used to how they use the power armor as a vehicle, as opposed to just being
Yeah.
just like something I put on like clothes.
I feel like with a game like Fallout, it's either you can't beat it because you can't get into it, or you can't beat it because you don't know where you're going. Because it's just very confusing at times. Because I played Fallout 3 and I couldn't do it, and I just got lost and said, "Screw it, I'm done."
Well, I mean, that's some of the fun of Fallout is just like, I mean, it's
Getting
basically
lost.
getting lost and just finding stuff, and that's probably where like the aforementioned Fallout New Vegas, just like wandering around finding stuff and like, oh hey, guess what? Now I have a new quest and maybe I'll get something cool out of it.
I think getting lost because you want to and getting lost because you're irritated are two different things, and I was in the getting lost because I was getting irritated situation with that one.
I put over 200 hours into Fallout 4, and other than
Damn.
again the glitches that Bethesda is famous for, it's one of the most complete of that kind of genre that's ever been made. It's a kind of insane accomplishment they did with that one.
I have the game and Fallout 76. I want to give both of them more of a chance.
So I played Fallout 4 on PC. I didn't run into that many glitches actually. Maybe that's luckily for being on PC. But I got bored of it, and so the only reason I finished it is because I modded the hell out of it, and then I busted through that game. And I won't talk about.
Oh, you can't tell us what your mods were.
I won't tell you guys what my mods were. You guys can guess what my mods were. But
High heels and bikinis.
It highly
Yeah, they sound very appropriate.
It
I'm
highly
sure.
elevated the game into something I was more interested in. I still think Skyrim's way better.
Of course you do.
Anyway, no, but Fallout 4 is a good choice. A lot of people are still playing it. I can't believe how many hours have you put into it? I put like 80, 90.
Probably not even near that much
Oh.
because of an entry that I'll mention later.
All right. What is my number? Oh, my number 5 game is a cheat. I'm cheating, guys. This my number 5 is the my Devolver Digital Double Dip, and I'm putting.
How is that cheat?
Kinky.
Kinky. I'm putting My Friend Pedro and Ape
Ah.
Out at number 5. Both these games were independently developed by like teams of like 1 or 2 maybe, like super small teams. My Friend Pedro is the game where the guy is like a John Wick ballerina and his best friend's a banana, and it's super fun. Slow motion bullet time shit. It was about 5-hour playthrough, super fun. And then the other game, Ape Out, is you're an ape and you're escaping out of
It's fantastic.
and like every time you punch or kill something, it does like this percussion sound, and it adds to the music, the soundtrack of the world. It's fucking brilliant. And that game's only like 2 hours long, so you can bust through that game easily. So that's why I put them together. I feel like they're a good, good games to play back to back.
Ape Out is a great game on a really loud stereo or headphones.
It's really cool too because they do the worlds. So there's 4 worlds or 4 acts, but they're broken up as like albums. So like there's like the first album and it has a name, and then each track is a level, and there's like 8 levels on 8 tracks. And so each time you get to the next album, and the music changes. So the music so the first one's kind of this kind of crazy jazz thing going on, and then it gets kind of jungly, and it's so creative, and the art direction is super impressive, and it's always like super cheap now on the Switch. Epic Store gave it away for free on PC recently. I mean, it's a great game, super fun. And there's all like high score so you can getting through it quickly. You can like do leaderboard stuff, so there's a lot of replay value in that. So
Did you finally beat that game?
I beat it a long time ago.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't, but I'm very close. I just need to remember to play it. I have too many games.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, okay, that's my number 5. Those 2 games. So I have 6 games basically.
Well, it happens.
Nice.
All right, Brad.
That's my job usually.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd cheat. I'd never cheat. I thought I'd cheat this time. Brad, what's your number 4?
All right, so the top 4 are going to actually be 2019 games. So we're being a little bit better. Number 4 will be Mortal Kombat 11 for me.
Excellent.
List is finished. No, that's it.
Right.
No, it was a really good game. I mean, I think they did a good job of taking the entire series when they brought out 10 or XL and kind of
Well, even
reinventing it.
9 on 360
Yeah.
and PS3 was a really they kind of redid their whole strategy.
Started the whole new
the
universe, if you will.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the stories became very more, I mean, kind of crazy comic booky shit, but like more interesting.
It's over the top on purpose now
Yeah.
instead
Right.
of just being low budget storytelling.
Self-serious kind of
Yeah,
weirdly.
yeah. And I think 11 does even better job than 10 on incorporating really good gameplay. If you don't feel like being the guys doing the memorizing 1,000 things, you can still have fun with it. But if you are into like old school fighting games, it's still very true to form, and the graphics look phenomenal, cheesy and brutal.
So I will say this. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I've read a lot of reviews. They say the worst thing about that game is what's her name? The MMA fighter.
Oh,
Ronda
Rousey.
Rousey.
She's like the worst actress.
Yeah,
She
I
doesn't seem like she'd be good.
I want to like her at moving into Hollywood and stuff like that, but she's not a good actor. I don't watch WWE. I don't know. But
She wasn't good at that either.
Yeah.
She's Sonya Blade, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But-
what's her name from Battlestar was Sonya Blade last time? Trisha, right? Trisha Helford?
Oh,
From-
maybe, yeah.
I think she
Actually,
was
you're
Sonya
right.
Blade before that, and then they kicked her out and put. Anyway, so I think Trisha Helford was way better. So anyway,
Well, sometimes you need the name to sell the tickets.
yeah.
So 9, 10, and 11 have all kind of just been building up to be the best version of itself. Do you see or do you feel that they should change it up next time, or should they just stick to this formula?
That's hard to say because, I mean, a lot of people will argue that, like, Mortal Kombat Armageddon was, like, kind of the death of the series for a period of time. And
I thought Deadly Alliance was the worst one.
Well, yeah, there was a dark number of years.
Deadly Alliance was
Special
garbage.
Forces, a few other ones. But I think they need to just keep moving forward with being only a little bit innovative at a time so that it doesn't, scare off their fan base, essentially. And I think they're smart. I think they know that. I just don't want it to get to a point like in the 90s where we got oversaturated on fighting games. It's nice that there's only a couple of real big ones out there.
yeah, I feel like they roll out at the right times. They kind of space each other out. Like this, yeah. I mean, it's still a really popular genre, but
Yeah,
It's
the
not
Joker
as-
just got released too. So I mean, it's like fresh stuff coming out still every day.
I don't
Yeah,
feel like
that's
it'll
great.
ever be as big as it was back in the
No.
day. So
No.
I think that's safe. Anyway, Dave, what do you got? Number 4.
Oh, number 4. Let me see. All right. It's I know what my top 2 are, and then I've got 2 that are like vying for 3 and 4. I keep on going back and forth on them. But
Just
I'm gonna
pull an Ian.
Just do them both and add a number 3.
Nah, I'm gonna say my number 4 was Borderlands 3. This year was for me was the year of Borderlands because I think I put 25-30 hours into Borderlands 2, and then about the same again into
No, you had like 40.
Borderlands 3.
You had like 40.
Was it
That-
40?
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like
also my
46.
number 4.
oh god.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys can both talk about it then.
I was about 70 hours then into Borderlands at least this year. That was my biggest.
Had to catch up because you never played really.
No,
the series
I
much.
missed out because you guys were all on PlayStation and
Yeah.
I had the Xbox 360 back then. So
Did you buy the 4K version that came out this year?
no, I just had the handsome.
the free.
collection.
They gave the free one.
I was talking about first Borderlands.
No,
No,
Nope.
no, because I don't have a Pro, so I was kind of like, meh. I'll just play it the way it's meant to be played. Actually, I bought the first Borderlands I have it on the Xbox 360. I was just burnt out after playing 2 and 3.
that's the problem I had with Borderlands 2 when they released that free DLC. I played it through like 3 different. Played it with Jared. I played it with Matt. And I played it myself. I played through it like 3 times, and I was just like, I don't really care about Borderlands 3 now.
Yeah, I definitely got my money's worth, but by the end of it, I was just like, oh, and that's why I couldn't give Borderlands 3 much higher on the list because it was a good game, but it really was more of the same, and it was kind of missing some of the cool characters from like both the characters in Handsome Jack, and they're just quite memorable. Whereas Borderlands 3 the story was a bit meh.
Well, this is interesting because if Jared has it as his number 4, he was the champion of the game. I'm surprised it's so low on your list.
I don't know about champion of the game. I bought it
Well, he's got to put Anthem above it.
on launch because I thought a lot of people were going to be playing it, and that was the opposite. I didn't
Yeah,
get
you
to
had to
play it
deal with me playing
online
it.
with friends very often.
Yeah, you had to deal with me playing it as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I have different hours than most of these guys, so I never really
Yeah.
got to play it.
I have the attention span of a squirrel when
yeah.
it comes to multiplayer games, and I just shoot whatever's nearest to me.
So it
Drives
probably would have been
everyone nuts.
higher if I got to play it multiplayer, but solo, it's just another shooter with a whole bunch of shit to dig through.
Oh, cool. You got something to add, Brad?
I was just going to say that I didn't even play Borderlands 3 because of the Handsome Collection getting released. It was kind of what you're saying of being burned out on it. Is I played with both of you guys on Borderlands 2, and then I saw the trailer for 3, and I was like, it's the same game.
It is the same game.
It is the same game. So
Yeah, and actually, I had Borderlands 3, and then I went back to Borderlands 2 because I preferred it for a while.
Yeah.
I do think it's the better
think-
game. I honestly think it's the better game. But it is funny. Like, it was smart of them to release that free DLC, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I really wanted Borderlands after, because that game, what was it, 12 years, 10 years? How long was the break between there? It was a pretty long
Gosh,
break.
it was a while.
And it's like, oh, I really wanted. I didn't realize how much I wanted Borderlands, and then playing that free DLC and then going back and playing through stuff I hadn't finished really killed my momentum going into Borderlands 3. So it kind of was like a double-edged sword there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Aaron, let's go. What's your number 4?
Well, I thought it was Jared's turn.
Well, he was Borderlands.
Oh, this is Borderlands 3. Okay, so my number 4 is back in the Switch territory with Mega Man 11. I know it should have been Bayonetta 2, then Mega Man 11, then Bayonetta 2, but I think the reason why I picked this one is it's just how much time I spent trying to beat this game. It is one of the hardest games I've ever played. Although right now Fallen Order is starting to get there, but this game, it just had the story wasn't the best, but it was very take back to the old days of playing games like it, the side-scrolling platforming shooter up game. It's just so fun.
It also is another kind of story, like Capcom's like climb back to the top again.
Yeah.
Really, like with all the games, Devil May Cry and Monster Hunter, and then Mega Man being a good Mega Man game again. I think that just shows that how, because there was that point where Capcom was just this like company that people thought were going to be.
Yeah, I bought the Resident Evil 2, and I'm really enjoying that. Mm.
Yeah.
Because it was good in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never
Well-
beat it in the 90s, but
Yeah.
Mega Man was good in the 90s too.
Yeah, Mega Man was great.
kind
in
of
the
like me,
90s.
I was good in the 90s.
There was just this period of time where Capcom kind of forgot who they were and they weren't doing the right thing, and it just really feels like they refocused, and which is kind of odd for a Japanese company that you kind of think they kind of like. Nintendo doesn't really change course; they just kind of do their thing.
Japanese game companies survive off nostalgia.
Right,
really
and
do.
so for Capcom to really like embrace some other things and kind of do some new things and embrace like making Monster Hunter this very like accessible game for Westerners basically was such a revelation, I guess. Anyway.
Yeah.
But to Brad's point, with when they came out with Mega Man 9 and 10, I mean, they brought back the old 8-bit version of it.
Yeah.
Basically playing on nostalgia. But
And
unfortunately, they just made it hard as hell. I mean,
Well, that's the thing they did with 11. They kept the whole hard bullshit thing, but I'm appreciative of that because I remember playing Mega Man Legends for the Dreamcast, and God, that was awful. Like
Well,
it
yeah,
was
it was
what
like-
the hell? But then,
wasn't it like a Mega Man RPG?
yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They should have
Yeah.
just left it alone because everybody wanted the platforming hard game, and they brought Mega Man 11 out last year, and man, or not last year,
mean,
but 2 years ago.
I'm not a Mega Man fan, so I don't really play. But I would be cool with like a third-person Mega Man RPG.
Well, they did, but it was
Metal
god
Gear
awful.
Mega Man.
This game was a disappointment. though,
Metal
what they did
Man.
with it.
Yeah, I think I put like 5 minutes into one of those Mega Man Legends things, and I'm sitting here putting out a fire.
Right, but no, this game was just
I just want to collect all the orbs or something. Anyway, thank you, Aaron. That's awesome. Good choice. I think you're the only. No one else played that, right? I don't even think Jared's
No.
played it.
no. I
No.
think I gave it to Jared or to borrow, but I think he gave it back. I don't know why.
Drop the mic.
Oh,
Literally.
So we're done here.
Nick, what's your number 4?
Well, shoot, I haven't had.
Shoot, I don't
Yeah.
know. What is it?
Well, yeah, Brad changed all the rules.
What?
Pick a game. What
I just
game did you
followed the
play?
rules that were unspoken. That's all.
Yeah.
There are
Well,
no
I'll
rules.
go with the
Rules?
2019 game, even though I didn't play a whole lot of it. But why did I already forget it?
Well, obviously wasn't that memorable. Clearly,
My Little Pony 2019.
best game ever.
Yes, that's what it is. I played with a bunch of
No,
bronies.
come
It
on,
was fun.
Nick. What is it? It's
Remember?
gotta be
Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Ooh, good one.
Oh,
Somehow I think that's going to be someone else's number one.
Yeah, it is on my list.
What did you like about it, Nick?
Well,
aside from it being incredibly glitchy and broken
Yes,
and
because-
incredibly long,
Did you beat it?
No, I did not.
you put like an
How
hour
far?
into it?
How far did
Yeah.
you get?
Like 15 minutes?
Did you get to create a lake?
Between the two?
An hour and
But
15 minutes.
I'm trying to follow loosely the rules of this best of 2019.
well,
Did you get to
so-
create a lake?
It's Red Dead with the motorcycle.
Yes,
So-
and
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah.
It's the Red Walking Dead.
mm.
Yes, everything I
it's-
like.
It's funny because, like you mentioned, the rules for 2019. Most of the games on our list aren't really from 2019. I feel like
All
They're
of
from-
mine are.
I mean, mine are like 2018, 2017. Some are 20.
Yeah, don't worry about that so much.
Well,
Just
I
go with
apparently
your
I
heart.
put too much thought into it.
Go with your heart.
So,
The
no,
thi-
I just want to know how far
Maybe your
did you
head
get
worked,
into that
but
game?
go with your heart.
Like, did you get down to create a lake?
No, I got a whole trophy.
You got a whole trophy.
a whole
Mhm.
one whole trophy.
One whole trophy.
Wow.
No, it's 4 partials into one hole.
It's a trophy where you hit start and it goes "Welcome to the game" trophy. Ding.
You need to go back.
Eddie's
You need to
done.
go
Yeah.
back to that game because it gets it does have a pretty brutal 20% to 40% of the way through. It kind of slumps a bit, and it's worth sticking through.
Nick,
No,
Nick, promise to ride me like you ride your hog.
Yep, that's the wedding.
Is that the
vows.
video we're doing later?
How'd you know?
Anyway, if you know anything about that game, that's in there. Anyway, cool, awesome.
That
Nick to win with a good solid 15 minutes of Days Gone.
yes,
But it came out in 2019. and
It
I'm
did.
hanging my hat on that.
it
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Ben Studio representing Oregon.
Yeah, I got it for my birthday.
Nice.
It's funny when I drive to Bend once a week. I see places like, I should be riding a motorcycle through here instead of a stupid truck.
Why am I not seeing Brett?
Well, at
Figure
least you're
here,
not being
guys?
chased by hordes of zombies.
True, I guess. I'm just dealing with bad
Yeah.
drivers.
You've just
in
got to
Bend.
beat off the hordes of ladies that are chasing you.
Right?
Right.
His
that's-
girlfriend would not like that.
No, probably not.
All right, so I had a game here, and then that game made me think of a different game, and that game is better, and so I moved that game up to 3, and so my number 3 is coming down to number
It's
4.
better.
It's a very fluid.
It's always
list,
moving,
Yeah.
and I'm compromising a little bit on the list too. So anyway, my number 4 is different. I'm shifting it now, but anyway, my number 4 is Need for Speed Heat. I love the Need for Speed games. This game did come out in 2019. I did beat it. I played a lot of it. It's the best version of all the ones that have come out this generation. It has no microtransactions because EA was obviously it came out the same week as fucking Jedi Fallen Order. So I'm pretty sure no one bought this game except me, and I love it. It's a stupid over the top story where the cops just want to kill every guy who drives a car, basically, which is Fast and the Furious style, and it's really just like the hard. I mean, of all the games they've made this generation, this is the hardest of the hardcore car porn. I mean, the things you can make your car do, and you can change the sound of the exhaust.
You can put it in high heels.
You can do pretty much. I mean, whatever that means, transitioned over to cars. It's pretty awesome. So I had a lot of fun with this game, and Justin, my good friend Justin, our friend Justin, he bought the game, and I was really hoping we'd play co-op together, but that never happened because
It's never too late,
never-
Justin.
never too
Never
late,
too late.
I love the Need for Speed games. I think honestly, this past year, 2019, I had Game Pass for like half the year, and I played Forza Horizon 4, and I honestly think Need for Speed Heat is better than that game. I don't understand the hype for Forza. I think it's so boring and just like I don't know. we could go into a whole episode.
Exclusive games get hype.
They get hype, but I don't think it's better. I just feel it comes across so generic. And even though Need for Speed Heat is so like over the top and cliche, and like it has a definite character that I find way more fun to watch than fucking just generic Horizon 4. So that's where I'm at, and I thought it was a great game. So that's my number 4. Brad, number 3.
First off, I have to point out that Aaron still got up to go to the bathroom, and I'm really curious how hot that mic is if we're having a Naked Gun moment right now.
I think I heard it.
Yeah, I think I did too.
I think it'd be better if it was. Oh, he did go in this one. All right, you should have just left it open. We could have just like. Oh, I guess we're.
Well, maybe I don't know. If you
I could have turned that.
You do a post edit for later.
Let's turn here a little bit, and then Brad can go ahead and tell us his number 3
Yeah.
game of the year.
Second point is, aren't we on number 2?
No, we're on 3.
Well,
Number 4 was Borderlands.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy. Keep
Oh
up.
yeah, I'm skipping.
Would you like another beer? I wouldn't mind one. So number 3, I'm going to do something out of the ordinary because I'm probably the most likely to have this category. Is I'm choosing a mobile game, and not Nintendo Switch Mobile. Like,
Are we going Apple?
This is my cell phone.
Are we
I
doing
think
it's
it's on Android also.
Oh, is it?
This isn't Aaron's
This is going to be
Mobile
Ticket to
Minute.
Earth.
The what?
Ticket to Earth. It's
Ticket to Earth.
they call it self-described color-based strategy game. So like imagine like a tactics ogre, but with some color defined rules. The final chapter of it just got released, I think like 2 months ago, something like that. But it's fantastic. It's like a $5 game, kind of like your number 5 entry with Pedro and the Ape
Out.
I want to say Ape Escape for some reason. Which I did play Ape Out. That's a really fun game. But like a lot of these like independent, small titles, like I think Ticket to Earth actually is on PlayStation and other.
Yeah, a lot of them get transitioned over.
Yeah, it was much later, but I think they're available on there now. And it's like for $5, I put more hours into that game than I did into Mortal Kombat and anything else I've listed on it, right, except for Witcher. Yeah, I highly recommend it. And we don't have enough of those games on our phones. Like most of them are like freemiums and stuff like that, where you can actually just kind of like, like, oh shit, I got an hour to kill, and it's a fucking solid game.
Right.
Yeah.
So is this one not included in Apple Arcade or?
No, it's not
of
part of
that?
the exclusive one. You're either in just the Apple Store or you're in Apple Arcade.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Does Aaron even play mobile games anymore?
Not really. I
We
mean,
need to
every
get
now
Brad.
and then, but
We need to get
nothing
Brad
super
on the show
serial.
then. Some
Yeah.
mobile cell phone shit going on here. All right,
Yeah.
Dave. Do you know where you are now?
No, I have no clue. Yeah, I think I'm at number 3. I confuse myself with the 3 and the 4.
The 5 and the 6, the 7
Yeah.
and the 8. I got it.
It's been a long day. Okay, 7. Number 7. No. What's funny about my list for this year is I've played a lot of PSN free games, and they've been some of the best games, and they've all kind of made, quite a few of them have made it onto the list. And this one is Sniper Elite 4. There's just nothing better than
Killing Nazis.
head shooting Nazis from 1,000 foot away. It's and watching the brains explode. And then
That's
the worst one is if you see one of the guys lying down and you go in through the eye, it goes down through the spine, and if you get it just right, it blows the testicle apart. And it's all in like slow motion.
Here's the thing. I mean, Mortal
Bone-crushing
Kombat
detail.
11 has those finishing moves where you, and they're supposed to be that way, right?
Yeah.
Sniper Elite, it's just like
It's-
you killing a person, and that's what it would probably be like. And for some reason, that bothers me more than the
Yeah.
comical violence of Mortal Kombat 11. It is very weird.
Well, if you get one person
I had to turn it off. I
in
turned it off.
front and one person behind, the bullet will hit a bone and then it will ricochet and tumble into the guy behind, and you'll see like all his bones shatter. And I know exactly what you mean. It is very like disturbing.
Yeah.
The testicle blowout though is the worst.
Were you okay when Saving Private Ryan was released? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, I guess no. I'm fine with violence, but there's something weird about like every time you kill a guy with a snipe and it does a kill cam, like you're killing a lot of guys. So you kill, and it's just I don't need to see that every time, and it's just incredibly graphic.
It sounds more like it's fatigue versus like
maybe it was cool the first time, but it's like I don't need to see this every time.
Yeah, I started skipping it after the headshot
because you can just turn it off. So
yeah,
that's what I did.
Some of the more fun shots though, like shoot people in the leg or whatever.
Plus, in Mortal Kombat 11, when you're fighting against your friends and you do that and you rip their head out and shove it up their ass, it's like, yeah, that's what I just did to you. Anyway. Cool. That's a great game.
Yeah,
it's really well made.
I beat that game. It was really solid, really well made. My only complaint was the first levels were more fun than the later ones, just because there were more opportunities for long distance sniping than there were late. Because as it goes on, you're moving into like towns and then compounds, and you're just not as spread out.
It is a cool game because it gives you things that you don't normally think about. Like they'll have planes fly over by, and so when the planes fly over by, that's a good time to shoot because it'll mask the sound.
Yeah,
you'll get a bonus points for killing the dudes. It's really kind of inventive, so I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah, it was a good game.
All right, Jared, number 3.
It's a VR game. Resident Evil 7. I played the entirety of it in VR.
That was a good game. I couldn't play it in VR. It scared me enough just playing it on the 2D screen, honestly. It made me jump a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. This is something like it put me on the edge all the time I was playing it. Resident Evil 2 does about a similar thing, but it's not as bad. It's just more like the jump scare,
Yeah, I don't know. Jump scares don't really do much to me. The scares that actually get me are the ones where people are chasing you. You're running and you can hear something running behind you. That kind of thing's kind of scary. But like Resident Evil 7, the atmosphere was so dark and dreary, super weird, and just kind of ever changing. And it was just really cool to see that from my perspective.
They did that house really well.
Yeah, that house is really impressive. And anybody that has VR should treat themselves the $20 Resident Evil 7 game.
Negative.
And really
I'm with
just dive in. It's so good.
I'm curious if they remade Nemesis, Resident Evil Nemesis, and do that in VR, how many people would have heart attacks?
Yeah,
That's
probably.
coming.
Well, the game is not in VR.
Not in VR, but it's coming.
Yeah.
That would be nice because the Resident Evil 2 is using the same engine, RE engine or whatever they call it, so they could easily just turn it into a third-person VR game. There's really no reason they can't because it sounds like third person is a really good aspect to have in VR. So I would be really interested if Resident Evil 2 came into VR.
I think the other thing that game deserves a mention just for the fact the full game was VR. It wasn't like these games where they had a VR mission or whatever just to pad it out and say they support VR.
As I mentioned earlier in the year, don't play the beginning in VR. Just wait until you get in the mansion because the outside at the beginning looks like butt.
And just to add again, that's one of the, Capcom making a game. I mean, Capcom's just been killing it, so. Cool. Aaron, what you got? Number, 3?
Yes, this is
Dave,
number
is this 3?
I don't know. I lost track.
It's okay. Number 7. So no, my number 3 actually is Anthem for PS4. I beat this game and I enjoyed the story. I mean, yes, as soon as
that's pretty high on the list.
Well,
wow.
I know it's surprising, but I actually liked it. But the only thing that bothered me was after you beat the game, nothing, literally. Nothing.
It is kind of a dead game.
Yeah. I mean, up to that point, it's amazing, though.
I really disliked the maps and the system that gave you the pointers as to where to go, especially if you were playing with multiple people because they were always ahead of you, so it would, disappear.
I can't talk. I spent 100 hours in the game.
Yeah, Ian and I both spent a lot of time in the game. No, I didn't spend as much time as Ian, but I really appreciate the graphics in the game. The world in the outer areas look really, really beautiful. It's actually
there
really
hasn't
well
been a
done.
better Iron Man game
There wasn't
yet,
anything
so.
in it. That was the problem I had.
Well, I like the game. I mean, the mechanics are great. The flying was probably the best I've ever seen in a game that has like a person flying versus like
That was the bit that was stood out to me for that game.
I also found as I was
Yeah,
playing
amen.
a woman, obviously,
Oh, I play as a
The-
woman too.
getting into the the mech was extremely erotic.
I didn't see it that way. I just started getting in a suit.
I
but
can't say I ever got a boner playing that game. So.
I don't know if I got a boner. I just thought like, wow, that's really kind of sexy.
Oh
Do you
man.
have like a Ripley aliens fetish?
Kinda. Anyway,
Funny.
Well,
don't we all?
Yeah.
Good
it's only
choice.
weird.
I that game's not gonna make my list, but good
I
choice,
know.
Aaron. Good
Yeah.
choice.
My one big concern with that is like you spend so much time away from the enemies. They always look like tiny little ants.
Yeah.
So I don't know what any of the enemies look like or even what they are.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a couple of the big ones, of course, that you can see them. You're
Yeah.
not really
Yeah.
close to them, but I was always up in the air, and they were just tiny, teeny little things. I have no idea what they look like. Were they human?
You were
I-
kind
were they
of
not? I
carpet
don't know.
bombing them from orbit.
You kind
I play pretty close to my television, so I can see everything. I'm like pretty much like right there.
I should try. Well, the thing was, I tried getting their face, so it was like face for the most part. But then, yeah, you had to kind of run away quite a bit.
A lot of it too is the only reason I played so much is like I played a lot with Tony Death. Hopefully Tony Death still listens to our show, but
He
I
probably
I
does.
spent a lot of time with him just running with his crew and getting a lot of what do they call the weapon? That
Like-
legendary. I don't know what the high end stuff is called,
I
but
don't remember anymore.
I just
I don't
remember running
either.
with him quite a bit and having a
The
good time.
purple stuff.
No, we're talking about gold.
Yellow,
sorry.
I'm
gold,
talking about the
whatever.
yellow gold, the good
Yeah,
stuff,
the real good stuff.
not the
good,
shitty
good.
stuff. Anyway, thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Nick, do you have a 3?
Borderlands
Fallout-
3.
Borderlands 3.
So yeah, it's basically much of the same that you've played before, or I've played before. Unfortunately, at just some point, in preparation for the game, I bought the 4K version of the original Borderlands. I was playing Borderlands 2 on the Handsome Collection with Jared sometimes, and mostly by myself. But by the time I put in about 40 some hours, I got burned out by it. I do plan on going back and playing it some more. It is a really fun game, but again,
It's a lot of work. It's a chore.
well, sometimes because I got up to a certain point, got to a boss, he beat me. I'm in playing or fighting him. I kind of figured out how to beat him, but I decided to take a break, came back, and I had to go fight through a whole horde of enemies again
Yeah.
just to get to him. And
I found a few of the bosses sometimes I'd be like level 20 and the boss would be like level 20 or level 19. And I just couldn't beat him. I had to go back and, re-level up a couple more levels before I could beat him.
I hate
Well-
that shit.
Oh yeah, there was one boss that I had to fight at least like 6, 8, maybe even 10 times before I actually finally beat him.
Yeah.
Which made it really worthwhile.
Quickly,
but-
what class were you running?
I can't remember what her class is, but she's got a mech and
Oh, the mech.
Yeah, I was
Moe's
I
or
was
what?
the mech. Yeah, Moe's.
Iron Bear.
Cool.
I was the ice iron. I upgraded all the ice.
I'd
Were
recommend.
you acid or fire on?
Sorry. Go on. Go on.
Come on, Seattle Seahawks Sonics.
I was gonna say I'd recommend the Beastmaster. That one is very good one for Borderlands 3.
That's what
Yeah.
I used.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go back and play all the classes. Kind
No.
of like what I should be doing with the other Borderlands too.
Cool. All right. Well, is that the last time Borderland? Probably the last time Borderland. And wait, does Aaron have it on his list? Aaron doesn't have it on his list. So, all right. Okay, so I switched Need for Speed Heat. Need for Speed Heat was at number 3, and I had Ghost Recon Breakpoint at number 4. But I decided to kick Ghost Recon Breakpoint off and drop Need for Speed down. Okay, so this is a game from 2018. I'm not recommending. I recommend this game, but I'm recommending the DLC that came out in 2019. So we're talking Assassin's Creed Odyssey makes it on my list again. It was like number 2 last year. It's number 3 this year, but it's the DLC that came out in 2019, episode 3 of the Atlantis storyline, and this DLC is probably bigger than most games you play. Like, the world itself is bigger than most games you play, and it's really just that team showing off, because it is one of the most brilliant the level design in the game is incredible. And if you like The Witcher, AC Odyssey is, in my opinion, way better than The Witcher. I mean, I love The Witcher, and this game, obviously The Witcher gave way to this game, but this game is so beautiful. And just, you go, spoiler a little bit, you go to Atlantis, and this world of Atlantis is incredible. And just, I've spent so much, I mean, last year, it was my second play game. I played like 60-some, 70-some hours in the game, and that's just, there's like 3 episodes, so there's 3 DLCs that came out in 2019 that I played. So it's like a whole other game, and I'm just picking the last episode. But if you put all 3 of those episodes, I mean, that's a full game that they released as DLC that I feel that probably not everyone played.
Probably because it has Aquaman in it.
Thanks, Aaron. But I just want to champion Assassin's Creed Odyssey some more, and I think that game is brilliant, and I think the DLC is even better than, I mean, you can't really say better, but it's pretty cool. And just where it takes the character and the stuff that happens and the stuff you get, and the story is still really interesting, and the lead performance, I don't know. It's DLC kind of sucks nowadays because there's not, like, why isn't there an award for best DLC? Because some of these, like Destiny, there's a lot of games that put a lot of expansion shit, and they probably deserve an award because they're still releasing shit in a year. But anyway, I think it's brilliant, and so go play it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think the team behind No Man's Sky would have to get the
Exactly.
best.
I mean, No Man's Sky No Man's Sky is an honorable mention on mine. I mean, they really dropped some huge amounts of shit this year.
I did play a lot of that this year.
Their VR update, I mean, just their whole, that game is a whole nother level than when it was when it launched. There's just, like, developers that are supporting their games, even if they're not, like, you know how Destiny or some, like, Warframe, they're like these ongoing games and they get support for that. But, like, there's games that, like, drop just regular DLC, just regular support that still support their games. Because, like, it seems like nowadays it's a lot of turnover. You play a game, turn it over, play a game, turn it over. Games that can keep you engaged and make great content that is just as good as their original content that they launched with should be rewarded. So,
Well, if you add a track to your record and you re-release a CD, you get nominated for best album the year that you put that's what happened to Jared Leto's band. But, like, I think it's true. Is like when you look at, like, Final Fantasy 14 or Destiny 2, both of them were poorly received upon release. But once they started putting in that time with the DLC and the free updates and everything like that, they ended up becoming award-winning series. And Final Fantasy 14 right now is still going on and still going very strong.
very strong.
Heck, I put a ton of hours into Warframe this year, and the game's amazing. It keeps getting better.
And my wife plays Elder Scrolls Online. They have a shit ton of content last year. They have a huge amount of content coming out this next year. I mean, and she loves that game. So I mean, and if Jason Wolford was here, he would talk about Destiny 2 and Shadowkeep and
It'd be
whatever.
his entire top 5.
It was all the expansions that dropped. You know, it's all they talk about. But you know what I mean. So, like, you know, I get ongoing games, but I feel like when you have a single player, like a finite game, and they drop really great DLC, that never gets rewarded. You know, so.
It's actually funny. When I was in Finland a few years ago, I actually went over to Jason's house because he was going to teach me how to brew beer. And I show up, and he's playing Destiny 2, and he goes, hang on a second. Here, grab this controller. So we played Destiny 2 for about, like, 2 hours, and I looked over, and I was like, are we going to learn how to make beer today? He goes,
What?
yeah, it's on the kettle. We got about 3 hours until it's ready. So, yeah, that's it.
So
All
I was
right,
just
Brad.
looking for a player
All right.
2.
Number
We're at-
2.
We're at number 2. I'm going to throw a probably mildly unexpected curveball and say Link's Awakening on the Switch, the remake.
The remake.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job of balancing out a really faithful recreation where you feel like you're in the same place you were at when you were a kid playing the original, if you did. But also adding new content that it was still fresh. The graphics were really well done. They're very Nintendo-y, but they're just really pretty also. I put it on my friend's giant 65-inch 4K TV, and I mean, the game's not made in 4K, but it looked gorgeous. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. I think I played that game nonstop. I think I'm at the last castle now, so up until I moved back here to Oregon, it was like what I played for about 40 hours straight.
Do you play the original?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, I played it on the Super Game Boy. So
Super
I
Game-
played it
Yeah, same here.
on the Super Nintendo with the little cartridge adapter. Yeah.
So I will just say, a lot of like outlets talked about the frame dropping. How bad was that when you were playing the game? Like, was there a lot of chugging or no?
No, I mean nothing that was noticeable. You're talking about the original?
No, the current one, the one on Switch.
Oh no, it's flawless in my opinion.
You didn't run into a lot of that?
No. Maybe I got lucky.
Maybe.
I just my Switch is better than yours. I think.
Oh, I don't play it, so me play a Zelda game.
Did
Anyway.
you give Breath of the Wild an 8 out of 10?
I did.
Okay, as I thought.
Stand up, Dave.
And it looks like you are wearing some Zelda green there.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
wearing
I don't
Zelda
hate
green
Zelda.
too.
I just like to make fun of it. Anyway, go for it, Dave. Number 2.
My number 2 was Detroit Become Human. I finally played that game this year, and it was absolutely fantastic. The story was great. The graphics were great. I mean, it was just really involving, and I really enjoyed it. And it's not usually my type of game, but it was. I can't recommend it enough.
The guy who played through all the Telltale games to get platinums. It's kind of your game.
Well, no, I played through those to get the platinum. I didn't play through those because I enjoyed them. There's a difference.
All right.
But
wait, did you finish? Wait, I gotta. Did you do? Weren't you gonna play all 3 of the games and then weren't you gonna do like?
I did.
What's the first
I
one?
did play Alan Wake. Was it?
No,
not Alan Wake.
The triangle game.
Yeah, with the
Heavy Rain.
Yes, I beat Heavy Rain. I played that.
But you didn't do Beyond Two Souls.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't think that came with the free download.
Didn't
Did
it?
I think it was free once, yeah.
Oh.
Did you end up getting platinum on Detroit? Did you get all the characters stay alive?
No, I got plenty of trophies, but I wasn't playing it for a platinum. I wasn't cheating or like looking ahead.
That game be
I
hard
just
to
made the
platinum,
choices I wanted to make and went from there.
Purely for the joy of gaming.
Yeah, it's not all about the platinums.
You would have to look up to get all the endings.
Yeah, I think so, because I made it out with, I think one of the characters died. One of my characters died before the end, and I was like, no.
Cool.
I thought the humans would be merciful, and they weren't, and kill me. So my mistake.
All right, Jared, number 2.
So I'm going to cheat here a little bit. It's a game that
Yeah.
came out last year, but I didn't pick it up till this week. And I immediately
you've been
fell in love
playing
with
it. You've been playing it in 2020. Is what
Yes.
you're
You
saying.
never even played this game in 2019.
I didn't. So more
We
than
ha-
a little bit cheating.
Dude, we have some rules. You have to have played it in the year that
No.
we're talking
Jared,
about.
I love this cheat. I
Yeah.
love this cheat. It's a good cheat.
I'm going to cheat this.
I like this one. I like
because
this one.
I want to talk about this game.
Was last year such a bad year for
Such
games
a-
that you have
no,
to take
because it
one from
came out
this
in
year?
2019.
It did.
It came out in
It did.
2019.
So that's how I'm getting away with it, is because it came out last year.
Hold on. You mean you could do late 2019 and play it this year and count as a cheat? God damn it!
It wasn't on
Man.
sale till
Yeah,
this year.
it just went on
Touche.
sale last Tuesday.
I played this game in 2014 that came out in like 2012. Maybe
Yeah.
I should put it on my game of the year last
Yeah.
year's list.
Why not? The Outer
Good call.
Wilds. The Outer Wilds is a wonderful game.
It's a critical darling, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to a lot of podcasts talk about it. It just seemed like it might be something, I don't know. I was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe. But it went on sale for like $20, and I pick it up, and every like 20 minutes or something, the world resets for some reason or another. I don't want to give too much away about the game, but you have to figure out this race of beings. You're kind of studying this race of beings, what they were looking for, and you're going to look for what they're looking for. And every planet on this solar system is really tightly woven and close together, so it doesn't take forever to travel to like a No Man's Sky or something like that. It's a lot easier because it's just one solar system. But each planet is just so filled with different details and stories that are told, and you learn so much every single 20 minutes that you play this. You can either pick one planet and keep going down and doing a certain thing until you figure out exactly what's going on, or you can just go and do different things, or just fly around and just you do whatever the hell you want, and it's a lot of fun. It's such a hard game to really explain without spoiling anything. So I don't
Sounds
really
like-
want to. I think it'd be a perfect Dave game.
Sounds like
I
No
really
Man's
do.
Sky.
Well, that was going to be my question. Is it a game I would enjoy? Because I've seen a little bit about it and it looked like it might be.
It's like No Man's Sky with a point. Like it has,
But
it
So
has,
it's
it has, it has
yeah.
something to say. It has something driving you. It has a purpose. No Man's
They're
Sky is
Sold. No
They're-
Man's Sky with a point. Because I enjoy No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a point, but it's not really
well,
a
No
point.
Man's Sky is a survival game, and it's
Yeah.
never really driving you to do anything except survive.
But
Whereas
thought that
Outer
was a
World,
Seinfeld game.
Outer Wilds, there are no enemies. You don't have to shoot stuff.
but you're
You-
figuring stuff out.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about learning and figuring it out and trying to solve a grand puzzle.
I wasn't going to get another game until I cleared some of my backlog. Thanks, Jared.
It's
Yeah,
on.
this game,
It's on sale.
$20 is worth every penny.
Now
It's worth the full price.
Well, it's only
honestly. It's
25
only-
bucks.
Yeah, 20.
So-
No,
Yeah.
it's like 30, I think.
No, it's
something like that. Is it?
$24.99.
Okay, yeah, it's cheap and
It's
it's,
cheap game.
worth every penny.
So now I've got Days Gone, AC Odyssey, Outer Wilds
Yeah.
on my list, which will end up being on the 2020 show because I'm going to start playing them
Pretty
next
much.
week.
Basically,
It
so
happens
it's
to all of
cheap
us.
now. So if I wait until I've played some of my other games, it'll be even cheaper.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, you eventually will need to play this, but you don't have to play it today. You know, if you need to wait, go for it. But this is a game that should stay on your list and be on the top of your list.
I might just take that recommendation.
You should leave Brad's up here and share with Jared.
Right.
It might be
We're having so
easier.
much fun.
Why not?
Yeah.
Share the mic.
Up and down and over.
I'm going to bring my Sure 57
Well,
next
we
time.
always have such dynamic conversations.
Dave
to,
has
to
one.
the audio listeners, 3 of us are sitting on a couch and 2 of us are sitting high up on stools.
And then one has his own chair over there. But
Sometimes,
he's manning
sometimes,
everything else.
sometimes you can't. You know, they say they're going to show up, but you never know. So
Yeah.
and we're just
Yeah.
and
True.
most of the time it's just the 4 of us. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And it's the first time with this new setup.
Jared, number 2. Oh wait, you already did number 2.
Aaron,
Yeah, my
number
turn.
2.
All right. So
Okay, Dave.
so now that there's this cheat involved, I'm going to do my little cheat.
You're gonna
and do
cheat?
Yeah, bring it, baby.
I'm playing
Jedi
it-
Fallen Order.
Oh,
Jedi Fallen Order.
why are you
number
cheating?
2.
How's that cheating?
Well, it came out in 2019. I just started this year.
Oh, like Jared.
You
I see.
did get it for Christmas, though.
I
Technically,
did.
you got it for Christmas, so you're okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just started this year.
You at
but-
least bought the game in the year that
well,
it's the game of the year for.
This is actually my number 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? That game is so good. The only thing I have issue with that game, the
Is
camera.
playing it.
No, the camera.
no, a
itself.
lot of people have camera issues.
Yeah, I hate that. But the story's good. The fact you're able to control a Jedi exactly how you want to is amazing. But
I don't know about exactly how you want to.
well, I got to the point now I have the double lightsaber.
I
but-
mean, no tentacles or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, there is tentacles, but not on you. But no,
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm pretty far in that, but it's such a good game, though.
And you can't play as a woman.
No.
No,
so
but
Ian's never
You play
gonna
as
play
Cal
it.
Kestis,
they're adding DLC
The
in
dude-
the future.
the dude from
I-
Shameless.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
first Ginger
Yeah.
in Star Wars.
this happened right after the whole Order 66 thing, but it's such a good game though.
What difficulty are you playing it on, Aaron?
I'm on medium, which is
Normal,
Yeah,
like the normal.
When you're saying you were going to turn it down, though, because it was getting a bit tricky.
it's getting tricky, and the camera angles just suck because like at some point you're actually fighting like a group of characters. All of a sudden the camera just completely goes the other side. And
You have
just
to learn how to
die.
lock on. Well, as soon as you lock on a character, it follows him no matter where you go.
I did, and then it switched on me.
we watched him play last week, and it was
I think he probably just gets
interesting.
excited and unclicks the button.
Yeah.
It was just that was my whole thing. Just the cameras. are
Yeah,
just
I
issues.
get that because when I'm playing a lot of games, I'm kind of rough on my joystick, so I end up clicking the L and R3 just randomly. So that can happen.
This is the other studio of this year. I mean, you're talking about Respawn. They did
Oh yeah,
in February that Apex Legends dropped, and that game's
good game
huge.
too.
Yeah.
And then you have this game at the end of the year. That studio is just cleaning up.
Yeah, honestly, if that's the only issue I have with it, the cameras, there's really nothing else wrong with it. The
It's a solid
story's
number
tight.
2.
What about the Wookiees?
I like
Oh
the. I
my-
mean, their faces look like they're melting. That's the only graphical complaint I have, really.
I think that looked more like a hit at the face of the pan and just kind of.
Here's the thing about that game. Obviously, it had to come out before Star Wars. I think was one of the kind of edicts they had to like drop it.
Yeah.
But like if they had delayed it,
And before
you know
Mandalorian.
what's funny? If they had delayed it, even though it would have been coming out during Cyberpunk, all those games delayed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah.
It's
They're
so
gonna be
funny.
good,
It's
though.
insane.
It would have released on its own.
I think Final
And
Fantasy VII Remake is just a joke, and they're just fucking with us.
no.
no. What?
But the problem with Jedi Fallen, I mean, it's kind of this year's a weird year. It's a questionable game of the year. Like it's good, but it's not. It's it's kind of mixed. Like if it had more time to cook, it could have been the solid contender for game of the year.
Yeah.
One of the things I really love about it is that it has so much potential as a franchise.
Right.
You guys know that I was very critical of Fallen Order when it came out on E3. I was
Yeah.
very critical about the graphics. I had complaints of. I mean, of course, it was a beta at the time, but
Yeah.
and I had, as you guys all know, that when I was playing it, I had complaints about like the boxes, the treasure chests, and everything, where they didn't affect the gameplay whatsoever.
They don't
No.
really still too. I mean,
No,
you need
no.
another poncho, Brad?
Yeah, and I
You need
hate
some
the ponchos.
ponchos.
I hate the
You
ponchos.
need a poncho?
But that
You ate your
said,
ship? Sure.
the reason why it's my number one, and we're skipping you guys because it's the same game as yours, real
No,
quick.
that's fine. That's fine.
Fine.
Is that it really hits it on the head with the vibe of Star
Wars, right?
Like you really feel immersed into the Star Wars
Yeah.
world. You really feel, and at first the controls are really basic, but as you get further in it, you start getting to a point that you actually feel like
And as it doles
You
out powers,
Yeah.
I hear that
Yeah.
like once you kind of feel like, what am I doing? And
it's
then
insane. As soon as you start getting
Yeah.
like double jump and all those kinds of like very typical moves, but you start feeling like you're
A
Luke
Jedi.
Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, and it's pretty insane.
I don't know how I feel about being a Jedi because this guy's not such a whiny little bitch, but
Like everybody was freaking out about the dual lightsaber because they wanted to be Darth Maul, but when you get to the point in the game where you actually get like actually two lightsabers, like that's when like the gameplay like steps up a notch and you're taking on like hordes of people
Right.
at a time, and it's insane.
No, I look forward to playing it. I just
It's fun.
Obviously, I went
Yeah.
down the Need for Speed route and not the Jedi Fallen Order route. So that's where my
yeah.
my directive lies. But no, I'm super eager to play this game, and I hear the story is really great at the beginning. It's kind of a lull in the middle, and then it gets the ending.
A
is
lot of games are though because
and then the ending is super awesome.
it's hard to follow for a lot of how the size games are. That
Right.
like, you start forgetting of what the story is because you've just spent 20 hours trying to like get 100% on a planet. You
Yeah.
know, and that's true for almost all those games.
Oh, so it's like the Mandalorian. It's good at the beginning and good at the end.
Wait, the
Mandalorian
in the middle.
Wait, the Mandalorian's good?
I
Yeah.
don't hate the Mandalorian.
I have spoken.
So says
Such
the
is the way of
Mandalore.
the Mandalore. Anyway, and Nick to win. What is your number 2?
Well, since there's a whole lot of rule breaking going on here,
Rule
Excuse
breaking.
Bring it.
well, I'm just going to bend it a little bit because it had something come out in 2019.
You just play that one string and you bend it a little bit,
Just don't bend it too much or else it breaks.
and then next song.
Well, we don't record all the time, so I mean, if we started playing it before this episode, it's technically valid, right?
Yeah, right. That's what we're going on.
Yeah.
Just don't pick up a Game Boy game from like. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Metroid Prime.
No, Link's Awakening, the original.
Super Mario Brothers.
No, I'm going to go with Borderlands 2.
Oh,
Yes. because-
Nice choice.
I mean,
because
Yeah,
you hadn't
solid.
played it till this year, ever?
the Handsome Collection I didn't play until this year.
Cool.
Well, basically every game that's on my PS4 now I haven't played. Till
It is a
this year.
superior game to Borderlands 3.
yeah, it is.
Yes, because I had a turret I could throw out and then hide around the corner, let it do my dirty work while I sit here and heal or stare at the wall. Then once it's done, I come around the corner and collect all the goodies and move on.
But I also feel like the writing in that game is better. It's just, I don't know. It's a better story. It's
Yeah, it had a better
villain's
story,
better.
better characters.
Well, I mean, is any of the Borderlands stories really that good
No,
to
I do.
begin with?
I do think. I do.
I mean, they're fun.
No, but I do think Borderlands 2 had a good story, and I do think there's a lot of cool things that happen in that game. I don't know where you are in the game. Did you beat it?
No, I did not. I mean, every game on my list I haven't beaten.
is
partially on purpose.
all I know. All I'm gonna say is like the situation with Bloodwing. Like that was like a real like moment. Having played the first Borderlands, and when the thing with Bloodwing happens, and it's just kind of like, holy shit, what?
Bloodwing, is that that's
Sure.
from the first one?
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be Jared's costume from way back in the day.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
I did
pulling-
dress up as Mordecai. That's right.
nice.
That's funny.
So I have to give props out to more like sci-fi shooters like that with shields and stuff like that versus realism. Because you can run around, jump around, hop around, do stupid shit and have fun instead of just ducking behind a rock and pop your
throwing
head
the
up every
turret
once in a
out.
while. Yeah, it's so fun just being able to run around in Borderlands. You can like jump and run around and you still have a lot of fun and not die every 3 seconds. But in like if you're playing Call of Duty, you can do the same thing and just get wrecked and not have as much fun. You
And then
hide
get
behind
yelled
the
at by a
box.
bunch of kids too.
Yeah.
But doesn't it
Sucking.
really just feel like when I was playing Borderlands 2 again, I was playing with Brad, and I was playing with all these different people, Matt, played with Jared a little bit. It's really just like jumping in the game and you're just fucking around.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I'm
the
just like
best
killing,
fuck around with.
looting some shit. Just hey, what's up? Just
Let's go
shoot some
this way
shit.
and kill things.
Yeah, it like at a certain point, none of it matters. You know.
Yeah. It's one of the best games to fuck around with. Really was.
It really is first-person Diablo, in that sense. You know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought like a Call of Duty or anything like that like on launch day. It's always been Borderlands,
Ryan.
Destinies, that Halos, any of that stuff with shields where you can run around. Oh shit, my shield's gone. I'll go hide for a little bit. It's just so much more fun. Borderlands 2 was a champion of that.
Cool. Good choice, Nick.
Thank me.
Technically, it got DLC that dropped this year, so it's new. And
Yes, that was
so
the
more
loophole I
valid.
used.
so it's relevant, really,
Really
if you think
strange.
about it. Very strange. I mean, a game that's like how old? That's gotta be like
2012.
that's got to be the oldest DLC in the history being dropped on a game. Like,
It's funny because you were like worried about spoiling the game for him. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the time limit on the spoiler ban has been lifted a few years ago.
yeah, right.
Yeah, don't ruin it for me, please.
Um,
I mean, don't tell me Roland dies in it.
What? God damn it. I did not know this.
Oh.
Thanks.
all right. So my number 2 is a game that I know Dave just got, and Jared's in the wings to borrow from me. I think it's, oh man, I got to be honest. My number 2 and number 1, I was switching back and forth quite a bit, actually. But I'm gonna go. My number 2 is Control from Remedy Studios. They did Max Payne. They did Alan Wake. They did Quantum Break over on the Xbox One, right? Yeah. Control, man. It's like X-Files, but like Max Payne, and you got sci-fi, and you got flying, you got it's just a cool story, and it's a female protagonist. She's very attractive, and it's fun to follow her around. The story is kind of gripping and mysterious. It's got so many things.
Isn't that
like,
what
My
you're
ears
doing?
are burning.
I
for
didn't buy this game at launch. I bought it like a couple weeks later. I don't know what I was playing at the time, but I was waiting to get this game, and I just said, "Fuck it." It is brilliant. I think if it wasn't for my number 1, it would definitely be my number 1. I mean, it's basically just your average third-person action adventure game where you're investigating some shit. You have quests and everything, and the acting's really good, and the quests are inventive, and just what they do, the style. The game oozes style, and it's just very interesting how it's given to you, and I really enjoyed it.
I'm excited to play it.
I love it. I loved it. I'm excited to play the DLC when it comes out. Maybe that'll be my number 3 or number 4 in 2020. But yeah, my number 2, Control.
I like
Nice.
how your voice changed when you start talking about the protagonist. It was
Yeah,
like
right.
your- It's like your telly voice when
I
you're
love-
like trying to
I
like pick up a girl.
I love strong female leads. I love strong
Isn't
female
she?
leads.
I was looking
They're
through
pretty
your
fun.
collection earlier,
like
and
that.
I almost swiped it off the shelf.
Well, the other cool thing is she has different costumes, but there's this one costume they give you. Like, it's not overly sexy, but it's body tight, and she's got a great walk. It's not as good as Near Automata 2B walk. Like, that's the greatest female walking animation in the history of video games.
Tune in next week. Top 5 video game walks.
Better yet, are we
But-
going to have Ian dress up as her?
Yeah,
Because
right.
Because
exactly.
of this podcast, none of us can ever run for president.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Well,
Not yet.
I think at this point it doesn't really matter, guys.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time.
But yeah, it's a great game. Control. I recommend borrow it, buy it. Yeah. And Brad is your number one, but we know you're number one. You talked about it, but Jedi Fallen Order.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I'm hoping they'll get a follow up to that one real quick. Hopefully,
I hope so.
With
I hope-
really, really
Just-
ugly, scary Wookiees everywhere.
Nah, but just
Fix
really
the fucking
focus. I
Wookiees,
think
seriously.
I think it's in order. I mean, in order.
Who knows? Maybe maybe they'll have a big old DLC patch for us, and it'll fix all their hair.
Well, the other thing is the other
EA,
the other
do that.
Is this
question.
Please.
Cats or the
Whoa.
Star
Or
Wars
they just
game?
released a small.
No,
patch
but the
of
other
DLC.
questionable thing is that the EA Disney license is up in like a year.
Yeah.
So like Disney could choose to go somewhere else, and this game won't get a sequel.
Or just buy a bunch of people and have their own
Yeah,
studio. like
maybe.
they did
All
with
right.
But
movies.
Disney doesn't want to do that anymore.
Too much work.
All right, so we
Who
know
knows?
Brad's number one, Jedi Fallen Order. Dave, what is your number one? I know Days Gone. Go.
Yeah, Days Gone. Fantastic game. It's open world. I
He
did-
loves bikers.
Were you considering platinuming it?
He loves
I
zombies.
think I probably will platinum it because I got
He
about
loves
halfway
Ben.
through before I realized I was doing the side mission, doing like every mission. So I'm pretty much done. I just enjoyed the
Did you beat the main story? yet?
question. No, I'm really close. I'm about 85% of
Now
the way
this
through.
is actually violating our rule of this.
Well,
Number one, you need to have beaten.
hey, at least it was a game released in the year.
no,
Yeah,
I-
we're-
and
we're-
I played it
You're
in the year.
fine. You're
yeah,
fine.
we're
you're
warping
fine.
all the rules. We're
We're
okay
fine.
here.
Dude, it's never been
We've
a rule
broken
you have
rules.
to beat the game for it to be a game of the year.
True.
There's some games are unbeatable, but no, it's
I didn't beat Mortal Kombat 11.
I just
Well,
love
that's-
riding around on the motorcycle in Central
That's
Oregon
okay.
and
Okay, I got
It's
a
like
question.
all the
I got a
stuff.
question for this. How much just walking the bike have you done when it's out of gas?
very very little.
Okay.
I've
Been
I-
pretty good about that.
I had to push it once, and that was it. And I didn't have to push it very far because I was.
and then do
close
you
to a camp.
feed it and pet it and then like
I put all,
Do you
I
serenade it?
I used the scrap to repair it, and then I put some gas in the tank. and-
like Red Dead?
Did you paint it like your motorcycle?
no, it's got a bright red tank right now.
Oh damn!
I'm trying to get it up to the maximum level so I can do. I'm at like level 2 out of 3 on all the stuff on it. I've got some level 3 stuff on it.
I feel like a motorcycle is like the worst vehicle choice in a zombie world. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
announcing to the entire forest, "I'm here." Vroom.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of funny because you roll up, and maybe you found a camp. That
Is
you
it a
wanna
Harley?
Clear out. Of course, it's like
Oh,
well, it
so
might not.
Well,
it's
a
not
Harley
a
style.
Harley
It's-
in
it might-
name, but
might
it's
be a Yamaha or
it's as
something.
loud as
If only it was a
anybody.
Honda, it would never let you down.
Well, needless to say, you show up and you have to keep an eye on the counter, and when you get within about 150 foot of wherever it is you're trying to go to, you just jump off the bike. Otherwise, they see you coming a mile away.
You
What-
can hear a motorcycle coming from a mile away.
You really can.
What does it do the best? Gameplay, story? What is?
I'm really enjoying the way it pieces together the story from like different points of view and how everything's kind of appears to be coming together. And
Because this game was not reviewed well.
I,
Did it? Was there a
know-
lot of patches? Has it run really
I've-
well for you?
So I played a lot. I played probably about 10 hours of it when I got it in June, and then I started playing it again in November, and I've had no glitches. Graphically, it's been solid. I've had like 1 or 2 times where I've crashed into stuff, and the physics has been just a little weird, but not like, crazy, and it's got me killed. But I forgot what the question was now.
Did you download the free Death Stranding DLC for the game?
No, I haven't yet, but I did unlock the Death Stranding tank just recently, and I thought about painting it. But no, I just like the game. I like the story. The character is real. I really like the main character, and but I can see why it wouldn't review very
He's
well.
like your father-in-law.
Because I think you would have to play at least 40 to 60 hours to like play the game and get the whole story. And it does have like about 10 hours in, it does kind of like lose its way a little bit and then it tightens up again.
Cool.
But if you do, you know, I think it's like most of these games where they review a long game that's meant to be played many, many hours and they just review the first 10 hours of it and then they kind of they're like, eh.
It's a game that probably could have, like Jedi Fallen Order, another 3 months of polish, it probably would have fixed everything. And
They could have tightened it up, but by the same token, it's an interesting world. It's fun to ride around. Things happen. It doesn't feel as empty as like Red Dead's world can feel sometimes. So, you know, I really.
You like it better than Red Dead?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
That's
I
actually
like the
surprise.
infestations.
You know what?
There's nothing better though than going into a cave.
You know what, Dave? I was never gonna play Days Gone, but because
Mhm.
you said that, I'll give it a whirl.
Red Dead 1 had a zombie mode that they released as DLC. I wish
Not
they'd
good. It wasn't
release that
good. It
again
was not
someday. Cause
I
that,
actually have that.
that was
for the
really fun.
360. But anyway,
Jared,
nothing
wait.
better than going into the best bit of that game though for me is going into like a cave or a dark spot and there's just like hundreds of zombies in there and you're like, oh shit. And so you start laying like proximity mines on the way out the cave and then you just shoot that first bullet into the cave so they all hear it and they all start running out and blowing up. But even
Nice.
then you're just running away trying to shoot them because you can get up to 1,000 zombies in the horde.
Jesus
takes some killing.
Christ.
All right,
That's
Anyway,
a lot of bullets.
Jared. What is your number one, Jared?
My number one came out a couple of years ago, but this year for the Switch, or 2019 for the Switch.
Shantae's Genie Attack.
Well, Half Genie Hero is good, but I selected Dragon Quest XI.
Oh,
Yay!
Yeah, a JRPG at its finest.
What about 90 hours you think you put in?
80,
80?
almost 80.
Dang.
And I still want to keep going. There's a lot of sections I have not completed and some extra bosses I have not completed. But eventually I will for sure go back into it because the game is so enjoyable. I loved all the characters. Even like the voice acting was really well done. For the Switch edition, they remastered the music. I guess on the PS4 version, everybody was really pissed because it was like synth music. It was sounding like a little too retro for what the game was. So the Switch version changed that. I'm assuming they patched it into PS4. I don't know. But the character, the world, I had nothing bad to say about it because the battles, you could just make them go automatically and as fast as you wanted them to. So you could fast forward the battles, which really needs to be a mechanic in all JRPGs. Because that's generally the burden is the battles. So if you can fast forward that, where you just have to click a button and go to the bathroom, you know, that's where JRPGs
That's
need
the
to go.
dream.
Some
Does anyone-
people like the grind, and some people don't. I don't like the grind.
Does anyone else have interest in this game? Because I know very little about this
kinda.
game, and I couldn't ask a question about it. I just know that Jared loves these like Japanese RPG games.
So I hadn't played a Dragon Quest game since the NES
Why is it better than Octopath?
because the battles are more fun because you can just hit a button and walk away.
So they're funner because you don't do them.
You don't have
Well,
to do
no,
them.
no.
Basically,
much.
basically.
No, the problem with Octopath was that the story beats, at least in my experience, the story beats after spending 50 hours in the game were few and far between, and the battles were more than half of the game. And I'm more for story when I'm playing a JRPG versus what the battle system is.
You
And
say
if
a
the whole
JRPG.
game is the battle system, then it doesn't have enough for me. The battle system in Octopath Traveler is fun to a point, but if you don't have one character you might need in a specific area of the game and you're stuck in that area until you can get to the next city, it really takes all the fun out of it. So if you have a group of characters that can handle any group of enemies, no matter what character's in the battle's party, it makes it a lot more of a fun experience. And Dragon Quest XI has such a great balance of characters. It doesn't matter who you have in your party. You're still going to have fun, and the battles aren't going to be a burden.
Cool. All right.
So
Dragon
it's a
Quest
good
11.
thing.
Who else is going to play that?
Maybe someday.
Somebody want to loan it to me? I'll play it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll loan it to you.
There you go.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Yeah.
Aaron, number 1.
All right, my number 1 is Final Fantasy 15 for the PS4.
Finally.
I
I've
know.
talked about how much I love that game. And I
I-
let
Oh,
somebody.
that's right.
I
That's
told
right. You
somebody
beat
to
that
fucking
this
play
year.
the game.
I did.
And somebody did, and it's their number 1.
It is amazing. The story is tight. The gameplay is epic. The
Is it?
graphics are beautiful.
It's
They
a great
are.
game.
It's all around amazing.
And it looks like it's going on Brad's list.
No,
It's-
I'm actually looking up what year it came out really
Yeah,
quick.
right.
I think it's 2018.
Thank you,
Yeah, it's been a
researcher.
couple years.
My producer over here, Brad.
Is it 2018 or 2017? I can't remember, but
No,
I finally
think
got.
it's- I'm going to say 2016.
I played it when I got back from Finland, so
Uh.
it's at least that was like my game of the year, like at least 3 years ago.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's great.
It was a good game though. Bad
Well,
voice
no,
acting.
yeah. So I got
hated the
Jared's
voice acting.
copy.
I
Jared's
played the
copy-
episode Arden last year.
Jared's
Nice.
copy hung out at my place. I tried playing. I played it for a little bit. It's not bad. I just didn't get involved with it, and so then I gave it to Aaron, and then Aaron just like crunched through it like nothing.
Yeah.
The final DLC episode Arden was released in 2019, and it was awesome. I talked about that.
Did anybody do the
Uh,
Pocket
and it
Edition
was
where
really
it's the
good.
exact same game but with
Uh-uh.
like terrible
No.
graphics?
No, I've seen it. It's always
Yeah.
on sale.
It's
Have you-
supposed
did-
it's supposedly a complete remake
Yeah.
or rebuild of it.
You should
Huh.
try it.
No.
Get back to us, Brad.
Yeah.
Might be
problem
a
with
new
that is
Bubble
at
Minute.
the end of the game you get that ring, right?
Yeah.
And that ring is so powerful that I'd go up to like the ultimate boss. It's supposed to take you like 2 days to beat.
Oh, the big turtle?
Yeah, and I tried the ring like 7 times until it works on him, and then he's dead. And I'm like, well, okay, the game's broken now.
Clearly.
Platinum.
Right. No, the game is, in my opinion, one of the best games I've played since God of War from last year, and it's great. I really enjoy that game entirely.
Cool.
I recommend it to anybody who wants to try it out, and if you don't, try it.
Well, you know what
It's a
game?
JRPG that doesn't have turn-based battles.
Yeah, but you get to control the whole thing, so that makes it worth it.
Speaking of God of War, let's get to Nick DeWinn's number 1. God of War beat this game last year. Anyway, I'm a very hater. I'm a very big hater of this game.
Oh,
so.
yeah, a good choice, Nick. I like it.
Do you just want to announce it
Now,
for
now
me?
how about you talk about it, Nick?
What's your number 1?
Shut up, Ian.
Ian
You
has
want to go for a long
complicated-
walk?
complicated relationship with his father.
Complicated. Super. You know
Yeah.
what? You know.
Maybe he just
hey, wait,
doesn't
wait.
like the
Let's talk about
hunting
my
and
father for a
fishing
second. He had a nasty fall. He's in the hospital right now. I'm thinking of him.
Oh, I didn't
All
know.
right.
Now I feel like shit.
No, it's, I don't know my father barely at all. So
Oh, okay.
anyway,
Screw it.
Well,
it's
let's
like
delve in-
putting a horse down. Nick to win.
Oh my goodness, Ian.
Off the rails with the crazy.
No, I feel like that segues nicely into the game. He's
Nick, ignore Ian because
no, I
you'll
think
get some
putting a
backup
horse
on this.
down segues very nicely into his number 1.
Old Yeller?
That's a dog.
As a talk.
Damn it.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And here, I thought I was going to introduce the game because Aaron was so positive about it even before it came
No,
out. But Red Dead Redemption 2.
Woo! Good choice.
I have a lot of friends that agree with you, and I don't.
That is a
That's-
great game. A worthy number 1.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's not as good as Days Gone.
It's a
but,
polished turd.
No, I couldn't do it because I played it last year. So,
Yeah, he could. Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Fair enough. You actually
but
followed
yes,
the
it
rules.
I
probably
think-
would have been.
I
like,
think
a
Jared and
toss-up.
Dave both had it as their number last year, or no?
I think I got a war as number 1.
Oh, did you go God of War?
I
Okay, so I think ultimately we
recall.
did. I think ultimately we went God of War.
Well, God of War will be my number 1 game for next year
Okay,
because I
cool.
haven't played
Thank
it
you, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Unless you play
What do you
Horizon
love
Zero Dawn.
about Rockstar's Opus?
It's one of the top 10 selling games of the decade.
yet. Yes, and I do what everybody else
So
does.
is at the bottom, Call of Duty sells.
How about we let Nick talk?
I'm trying to, but Dave keeps
No.
interjecting.
No, he's
I'll just take the mic away from him.
Go on, Nick. Talk to us about the horsey riding game.
I'll take it away from the two people that
It's
hate.
I'm not hating on it. I just
well,
called
I
as
mean,
I see it.
you were looking so forward to it before it came out.
He does that to a lot of games, and then he's like,
Yeah,
"Nah, I'm not."
A
playing
lot
it."
then
of
he
games
never
that
plays
he doesn't
them.
wind up playing anyway.
Yeah.
What do you like about the game, Nick?
I
Tell
want
us.
to hear
I wanna
somebody
hear-
else
yes.
talk about Red Dead 2.
Talk about it.
So I liked just how it looked on my TV, and I also liked how my girlfriend liked it too, to where she could like sit up and curl up on the couch and watch me play. Almost to the point to where I'd get in trouble if I was playing without her.
Did you finish the story?
I did not, and I'm doing that on purpose because I'm terrible with open world games in that I need to play every single side quest, find every little hidden item before I finish it, because if I happen to finish the game and I didn't find the best thing ever out there, then it's a failure in my mind.
Not
Good luck on that
everybody.
one. That's a big challenge.
I
Not
know.
everybody.
You're not going to remember the story, but by the time you
So,
get to it.
I mean,
if you
eventually I'm
guys haven't learned anything about his love for Fallout, Red
Yeah,
Dead is
open-
right down that same line.
Yeah, open world games. I mean, Fallout 3 pretty much reinvigorated me with gaming years ago. Just like the open worldness of it. I mean, the first time.
And could I be wrong in saying this, but you still play Fallout 3 quite a bit.
I haven't actually.
I swear I've seen you on it.
I mean, unless I accidentally logged in for
Okay,
something.
okay, maybe I
but
was wrong. All right.
no, I mean that's the only game I've ever platinumed on PS3. Did that a couple years ago. I mean, yes, I do have a lot of love for both Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but just open world in general. Like even going back to like Grand Theft Auto 3, it was
So-
just.
So then, not beating Red Dead right now, does the story not drive you to finish it? You're just more enamored with what's going on in the world?
Well, I mean, I already kind of know what happens because I went and looked ahead.
Oh,
but
it's
it's
spoiled,
just,
so you don't care.
No, I mean, I'm not bothered by spoilers. I can hear the spoiler or I can hear about the ending of a movie that I've never seen, and still, like, even though I only hear just like
I'm right there with you. I don't care. I don't care.
I hear a little bit of it, but I still want to see how it's done.
What's your favorite glitch in the game? I'd
What,
like
Fallout or
No, we're going back to Red Dead.
Red Dead
Like,
2.
remember the spontaneously combusting horses and like
Right.
I had a horse that was actually upside down and I couldn't figure out how to climb on it. My character would start to get on it and fall off.
Mine was the horse was in the ground, so I couldn't actually get on it because it
Yeah.
was not on.
I think there's videos of Red Dead Online where ships are raining on the city.
Yeah. There's some pretty epic ones.
so
A lot of people
Rockstar's
love
trying
the
to be
game.
like Bethesda.
They're working on it.
So I would
No,
like.
I mean,
I
anytime you-
wouldn't. They're
anytime
not
you
as
make-
bad. They're not as bad as.
So I would
Bethesda.
like to
Anytime you
hear
make something
Nick
that
talk
massive.
about Red Dead 2.
What's that?
I would like to hear Nick talk about Red Dead 2.
Yes, we are.
I mean,
no,
it's,
he keeps getting interrupted.
Well, Brad asked a question.
Yeah, I asked him a question.
yeah. And no, I haven't actually seen any glitches like that. I guess probably similar to how you haven't seen any glitches in. Well, actually,
I have another question. Have you tried any of the online stuff?
no, I haven't. I've been kind
That
of
doesn't
turned off
interest
to
you?
online gaming. Well, yeah, actually, the first Red Dead Redemption playing online kind of spoiled it for me, just because I'd get killed by a guy, spawn or respawn, and like 3 seconds later, the same guy shoots me, and
Right.
that happened probably about 4 times in a row before the controller found its way on the other side of the room.
I will say this: like I tried to play Red Dead, but Red Dead Online I actually really enjoyed. I think I spent more time just fucking around in that than I did the proper game, and it's basically the same thing.
Just with like death matches.
Not
I
even.
think there's
not
less-
even.
Yeah.
Not even really.
I think there's less player killing. People don't like run around killing.
It's like you.
you can just go out fishing.
You kind
hang
of.
out.
I don't know, because I was just watching a video today, Red Dead Redemption 2, where somebody was just out fishing, and then here along comes somebody else. They lasso them up, and
Yeah. Well, I think
Lame.
I think it's dependent
It's
on
like, let me
whether
fish,
you,
damn it.
it's dependent on whether you have like griefing on or not. Like if you can't be grief, then they can't fuck with you. But if you have it on, then yeah, it's all bets are off. You can. So if you're just fucking around and having a good time, it's just like an open world. And then there's missions you can do that like a heist or steal, like rob a bank, and then you sync up to that, and then it loads you in with a group of 4, and then you go rob a bank together. So it's kind of cool. The main story bugs the shit out of me. So anyway, I'm glad you like it though. These guys loved it.
It's great. Yeah.
These
Good
guys loved
choice.
it. They're big fans.
Maybe I'll try the online at some point, but
I'll join you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
Yeah. Bring it.
It's just the online strangers that have kind of ruined.
you don't
stuff
have
for
to
me.
have a strange. I don't know.
Let's posse up.
Oh shit!
And then my
maybe
number
restore
one.
a little bit of faith in
Finish number
humanity.
one. My number one.
Number 1.
Death Stranding. Let's get out, guys. All right. Let's. You got the.
Thank you.
You guys don't need me to talk about this game, but Death Stranding is awesome. Hideo Kojima made a game in like under 4 years, and it came out on time. So obviously Konami was the assholes that were keeping him undercover and couldn't let him do his shit.
You almost didn't make it because they were upset.
Yeah.
They was gonna be too close to the game he was making with them.
And there's a lot of that DNA,
Oh yeah,
but then it's so different.
yeah.
It is just a different game, and I hope you guys all play it. I hope you guys all buy it and experience it.
Can I
will
borrow it?
No, I have it digitally. I bought it digitally just so I had to make you motherfuckers buy it. No, but the greatest thing in the game is
He
just
thinks
how
GameStop's not going to go out of
Yeah,
business.
he's not this year. Not this year. It's going to be a couple years.
Not
from
today,
now.
Satan. Not today.
When we have one GameStop in Vancouver, then we'll talk. Then they're going out of business.
That'll be the last one. Just
But
like
we still have
Blockbuster.
the last one in Vancouver is going to be the standout.
Yeah,
We still have 4
because you're
here.
going to be there every
Yeah,
week.
right.
It's the
I don't go.
Blockbuster of
I don't go
Washington.
there. None of us go there. So anyway, no. One of the brilliant. I will say this about Death Stranding. I haven't talked about it, but like when you kind of beat an area that you get through, that is the game is kind of decided that that's an area that you have to get through, and once you get through it, and then you're coming upon your destination. As you're walking, your character's like here in the screen, and then the camera pulls out, and you get small, and you see the landscape, and then you see your destination ahead of you, and then it does that very cinematic thing of rolling in that music, and it's just like, why do not more games do this? It like just pulls you in a way that no other game does, and it's incredibly cinematic. So, and that's in gameplay. So while Kojima's shit with his cutscenes and stuff is trying to be cinematic, where he is clearly still a game developer and understands cinema, is in the gameplay. So when it happens in game, it's kind of transformative, and you're kind of like, oh, I made it. Oh, yeah, it is really epic, and I feel really kind of, it's like one of the best feelings I've ever had in video games. And it's also a game that, while a lot of things are similar, it's just something that no other game's ever done before, and it's just very kind of new and different. So I really appreciate it. I had to give it my number 1, ultimately, obviously. And it's almost like, it's like a game of the decade. I mean, it's up there with God of War for sure. Anyway.
Music cues are more important than most people realize, I
Right.
think.
Oh yeah.
So I think most developers should really study musical cues and how to implement them.
Controls the emotion of the scene.
For sure.
So my question for you on Death Stranding, if we have time.
Sure, we have time.
Yeah, it's
You're the one that has to leave.
Yeah, I was. It's true. I was actually considering buying it, but one of the reasons why I stopped playing Kojima games in general back in Metal Gear 3 was probably the last one of his I've played all the way through. Is that usually he has these like cutscenes that come out of nowhere that are an hour long, and I have to go to work in a few minutes.
It's still there.
Yeah,
It's still there. I would say they're not. It's interesting. They're not an out. I mean, they're long. I wouldn't say in game, but when you beat the game, man, that's like a 3-hour like film you watch at that point. It's.
I mean
It's
that's
good.
epic, but a lot of times I'm just like I've got 20 minutes to kill. Let's turn on a game for a minute.
It's like if you're gonna play this game, you have to understand that you have to commit to that.
Okay.
And it's not. But outside of that, if you're just gonna play the game is very kind of take this shit, go here, take this shit, go here. put some stuff up, make your life better. So the gameplay itself you can do, and it doesn't have to be. You can do it for 15 minutes. You can do it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the story, you just have to be prepared to know that, yeah, then you're now in his experience, and you're gonna have to experience it. But I think it's totally worth it, and it's just it's nuts. It's so nuts, and I appreciate that.
Very good.
Like, it's something that video games kind of don't like. They don't really have that level of rock star. Just fuck you, you know. Here's my dick. You're gonna suck it. You're gonna suck it. You're either gonna suck it or you're gonna turn it off. One of the two things, and that's very rock star, and that's something that, frankly, I think video games need more of. Anyway, Aaron, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's get it.
So I feel like everybody just got their whole 2019 list out there with their number ones, but let's go switching gears to
right.
the couch co-optional.
Oh no, we don't have time for that.
Oh, we don't?
No, we're gonna get out of here.
Oh,
we've
all
been
right.
recording for so long.
All right, fair enough.
Let's not fuck with that. Let's just get out of here. Let's because Brett has somewhere to be.
That's right.
And I need to drink a beer with Nick, and there's so many things we have to. And these guys have to.
I think there is one comment I'd like to make though. It's the previous years we've had the same games on our lists in different positions. This year it's all over the map.
It really is.
This year's been weird.
And that's okay.
Very all over the place.
Yeah.
But you know what's also okay? I'd like to thank everybody for listening and remind you that you can listen to us on all our sites, but also you can leave feedback on
all our sites.
All the sites.
All the sites.
In all the holes.
I want to give a special thanks to Brad and Nick for being on the show. Thanks for being on the
Always
show,
a
guys.
pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
But if you want to say anything otherwise, you can leave it on Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter at Couch Co-op Shows. Remember, all one word, no hyphen.
No hyphen!
Also, try following us on Twitch every now and then. That'd be really nice.
It would be.
Or YouTube or wherever.
Probably.
Wherever. But remember, you can also find it on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Radio Republic, or Spotify.
And YouTube, actually.
And YouTube as well. Thank you. I'm just reading the script. Going right there.
You're going to do a good job, Aaron.
Follow us on all these services. Just don't follow us home.
Thank you, everybody. For Brad, Dave, Jared, Aaron, and Nick, I'm Ian.
And remember to be excellent to each other.
Aye.